And finally, as Major Lillywhite, Robert Buckley. Thank you guys all for being here. Let's start by talking to Rob and Diane. You guys, of course, have worked together for many years on Veronica Mars. Are you guys fans of that program? Just checking. Tell me a little bit, if you guys would, about what each of you loves about iZombie. What was it that attracted you to this? And Diane, I know we've talked about this a little bit, so I know it's kind of different things that each of you responded to in the source material.
Do you want to go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay.
No, I should go first because I'm going to say all the things that I know you'll say before you say them.
Well, you can answer for each other if you'd like.
No, you go first.
When Rob called me about the project, the first thing that I was interested in was the word zombie, which was in the title. So that pretty much sold me on it. But I definitely wanted to do something genre and sci-fi, and just the idea of getting to do a different take on zombies was something I was really excited about.
When I first saw the comic book, it was because the head of Warner Brothers development brought it to me, and she didn't pitch it as CW needs the next great zombie show. She pitched it to me as the CW needs the next kick-ass female lead on the network, the next Buffy, the next Veronica Mars. And so it was an opportunity to do that, which was really exciting to me. But I do love the zombies as well. What 7 years ago, my producing partner Dan Etheridge and I sat in a room for 6 weeks and broke a big zombie apocalypse show. It was called Death Valley. We were very excited about it, and we were literally we had scheduled our pitch meetings all around town. And then the front page in Hollywood Reporter is Frank Darabont sells Walking Dead to AMC, and my zombie project was no more. So 7 years later, I'm getting to do zombies.
But these are zombies unlike we've seen. And we should talk about that for a minute. You know, zombies have sort of proliferated, what's the word? Proliferated television and film. So can you guys talk to us a little bit about how you came up with a different take on zombies?
Well, we read the comic book, and that was part of it. But I would have been really nervous about doing this show if the movie Warm Bodies hadn't existed, because we wanted you to fall in love with our zombie, and I don't know if I would have known that that was possible. Like, it's a lifeless piece of flesh. Will America fall in love with?
I'm right here, Robert.
Yes.
Ouch.
But that movie gave me some confidence that we could do that. And if we were trying to out Walking Dead, the Walking Dead, I would have had no faith in that. That show does what it does very well. It's only because we're doing a different spin on zombies that I felt like we could make it work.
One of my favorite things about the show is that zombies exist in pop culture in our world, which is great fun for us to be able to refer to them, and like we call our full Walking Dead-esque zombies, we call them Romeros, and in the writers' room, and that's just the most fun, is to be able to have her researching what to do about a zombie apocalypse by watching movies and TV shows.
And ultimately, you know, in the same way that Veronica Mars was not about the trappings of noir, it was about this character. This is very much a show about this character. It's about Liv, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
we just want to point the camera at Rose McIver and say, go. That's our job.
It's a good plan. Let's talk to Rose for a moment. Tell us a little bit about Liv and how are you like her?
She's socially responsible. She works at a morgue to get her brains so that she doesn't have to kill anybody. And I don't kill anybody either, so we're quite similar.
Fair.
I also think she is a very contradictory character. You know, she's vulnerable and sensitive and committed in her relationships, and at the same time she can be very fiery and sassy, and it depends what is provoked in her, and I feel like I could be the same.
Malcolm, sort of the same question when we talk about Clive Babineau. How are you like him? How are you unlike him?
Well, I think I'm like him in the sense that
you look just like him.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I think we look alike. We look alike. But I think the number one thing is, Clive believes in psychics, and I believe in psychics too.
Really?
I do. I really do. I had an experience years ago, and I think it was like Psychic Friends, and I called the number, and I was having a rough day, and I called the Psychic Friends hotline, and this lady, she said 3 things that really transpired like within 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need.
One of them was that he would be on a zombie show.
Yeah. And I tried to call her back, but yeah, that was the last time. But I think Clive, I believe in psychics. Clive believes in psychics, and I think what we don't have in common is I don't wear turtlenecks, and Clive does.
And in the interest of full disclosure, both you and Clive have immense turtleneck collection.
Yes, I used to wear turtlenecks. When I was a little kid, my mom used to always have me in turtlenecks. It looked terrible.
Raul, you often get to play some of the comic relief in iZombie. What is your background in comedy, and what is your background as an actor?
None.
Really?
No, I back at home in London, I did a lot of theatre when I was younger, but iZombie is my first TV show, really. But yeah, comedy-wise, I mean, it's funny off the page as it is, and I guess he's a great excuse, him having almost verbal diarrhea and not having it in a monologue. It's fun to play with someone who just says whatever they want, whenever they want. And also, a lot of the timing just comes from the fact that we all just get on and we all just like working with each other, so that's just, there's not much work there. No.
Making TV is easy, you guys. I want to go down to Robert on the end and kind of ask you the same question. Tell us a little bit about your character and how are you like him?
Well, we're both about 6'1", 6'2", blue eyes. No, let's see, how are we alike? Let's see, I've been through some pretty rough breakups, as this is Rob. And I didn't cope with them as well as Major, though. We both like denim. That's a real tough question. You kind of got me stumped.
You got it right. Correct answers. Anders, I want to ask you a sort of different question. We know you, of course, from Alias, from all kinds of shows. I want to ask you, how is your character on iZombie similar to and different to characters you've played in the past?
Well, he is the heavy. I'm not going to say it. He's the bad guy. He's the overarching villain, and I've played him before, and I enjoy playing them, and I don't know whether I thank or blame J.J. Abrams for that. I think I thank him more than blame. I've been instructed from Rob and Diane to chew as much scenery as possible with this guy, so I hope I do that. He looks a bit like Johnny Rotten, or Johnny Rotting, if you will, or won't, you probably don't want to say that. There's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences between the characters I've played in the past and this one, but he's a lot of fun to play. Blame the beers.
Yeah, let me ask all of you guys, and whoever wants to answer can jump in, including Rob and Diane. What are the specific thrills to writing this show or performing in this show? How is it different from shows in the past or things you've done in the past? Also, what are the specific challenges to this show?
A fun thing for me, as a writer, most of what I've done has been people quippy people in rooms. You know, it's been, you know, we've tried to write fun, fast, funny dialogue. This is the first time in my career that, like, I'm getting to deal with visual effects and violence and blood and action, and it's new to me. It was interesting to try to direct this, something I'd never done before. And then the other thing that makes the show a lot of fun is just the device of getting to put Liv in a new brain each week. And we have so much fun in the writer's room just kind of riffing on what would it be fun to make Rose play this week in iZombie.
That, I was about to say, you stole the words out of my mouth. That's my challenge, is each week, you know, you go into a show and you don't get a lot of time to prep for a pilot. I got like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and then we shot for 3 weeks. And then you think, oh no, it's okay, because if we get a series pickup, I'll have all that time to prepare. So I did, and I spent a lot of time watching zombie movies and watching Veronica Mars, rewatching that, watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, totally trying to get a sense of it. And then I get these texts each week that just say, okay, this week you are a martial artist. And I'm like, oh, I spent 4 months preparing Liv. I don't know what a martial artist is. And I get sort of 3 days to suddenly learn that, or learn to speak.
You're a Power Ranger. Don't tell us you don't know martial
The
arts.
yellow one, it was my favorite.
There was a yellow Power Ranger here today. I was very impressed. But I do, yeah, I get to take on different characters each week, and that's, it's so exciting, and it's part of what I love the most about this character, but it can be a fine line to work out how to incorporate those and play with the humor and the novelty of those, and not for it to overwhelm Liv's personal journey that she's on. So interweaving those, it's definitely done in the text as well, and it's something that I'm very conscious of tonally in the show.
It can also be a very physically demanding show for many of you. I mean, as Rob was saying, there's stunts and there's violence and things. Is this new to many of you guys, and how do you do that stuff?
Cat's out of the bag. I was a Power Ranger.
Here's the thing though, Rose is really good at everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like,
Except swimming.
You send her a text, can you do this? Yes. Can you do, like, she could do it, she dances, she was a Power Ranger, she sings, she could do karate. So there's nothing we can really throw at her that she can't do, is there?
Anders and I are angling for a musical episode. We want to be able to sing, so no pressure, writers, but while you're in the hot seat.
I want a musical episode so bad. David Angers. He sang at Comic-Con, and it was just like underwear flying from all directions. He just opened his mouth to sing, and like women's bras were popping off. It was incredible.
It's because I was a little pitchy.
I'm ready for questions. You guys have questions? Yes? All right. There's a microphone right back there being set up. There's a spotlight on it. If you have questions, go ahead and line up. While you guys do that, I will ask again, Rob and Diane. Is there stuff that got left on the table in this first season? Whether it's a new personality for Liv, or a new aspect rather for Liv, or character stuff for these other guys that you didn't get to do?
Well, I'll just jumping back to something that Malcolm was talking about with his character, and this happens a lot in pilots because there's so many things you want to do, but you only have 41 minutes. And so, like the original 80-page script of the pilot, Clive didn't believe in psychics and had to really be convinced and shown the error of his ways, and that was too long. And then, so in the next draft of the script, we explained that Clive has an aunt who had special powers, and that's the reason that he accepts Liv as a psychic, but that was too long. So in the final version, he just believes in psychics. That's how television gets made, right there.
Yeah.
Is it, we may as well check in. So you believe in psychics, Malcolm. You believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? No.
Zombies?
I don't believe in zombies.
Draculas?
Huh?
Draculas?
Vampires? Oh, vampires. Maybe. No, I don't believe in vampires.
All right.
He was really on the fence there.
It's just, he was. but psychics for sure. So it's a low-level supernatural.
It's a low level.
Listen, we may as well check in with the rest of you. Robert, Rob, psychics, you believe in them?
You.
Rob?
Sorry.
Do you believe in psychics?
Do I believe in psychics?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Zombies?
My psychic told me last night that you were going to ask that.
There you go.
You would have thought you'd be ready for it then. All right, let's get to your question. I'll check in with the rest of you, so be ready. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Anne. I was pretty much wondering, what are the brains made of that you have to eat every episode?
Brains.
Human
Human
brains. No, it's made out of coconut agar-agar, which is like gelatin. And I have a spit bucket. And that's all.
And that's on eBay, right? People can hit on that spit bucket.
No, I actually have it in my office. That's not cool.
Yes.
Hey, I was wondering, what's one thing from the comic that you hope gets into the show?
I wanted to get a terrier really bad. If we can't have a 60s ghost, then damn it, there's going to be a dog.
We do get a mention of a were-terrier. We don't have a were-terrier, but we make good mention of were-terriers in the show.
And we should actually mention the creators of the comic are fans of the show.
They have been so incredibly lovely, and we took several liberties with their work, and so often that can turn into a bad or contentious relationship, and they have just been fantastic to the show. We were so appreciative of them, and so grateful that Michael did our main title sequence.
Which is beautiful.
Love it. Yeah.
And we should also say, it's very cool as fans of this genre and fans of this kind of thing that both exist. Just because the show exists, the comic doesn't go away. So people should really be able to enjoy both, and it's nice that we get different kinds of stories in both. Yes.
Hi, my question is for Liv. Sorry.
I'll take it.
What ability have you gained in the show that you want to keep outside, like off screen?
I would like, well, when she speaks Romanian, I think that was me at 2 o'clock in the morning on a night shoot, being lured into some room and spoken to by a woman while I still had red contact lenses and trying to concentrate and learn a little Romanian. But I would love to be able to speak multiple languages fluently. And I might have to, because who knows if we get a second season what they're going to throw at me. So languages would be a big one for me.
And you're already a kleptomaniac, so that...
Gosh, all my deepest secrets in front of everyone.
Were there, I'll ask this of the rest of you, were there abilities that... Were there abilities that Liv gained in the show that you were like, oh, I wish I could do that?
Porn star.
Porn star.
We didn't do that episode yet.
Oh, that hasn't aired yet. Okay. Whoops. Spoiler alert!
Again, that was a text that I sent to her. Can you do porn? Yes. Did it everything.
I said only if it's really important for the character.
Yes.
This is for any of the cast that wants to answer. What do you think would be the best reality TV show that exists for your character to be on, and what would be the worst?
Bridalplasty, Robert Buckley. Bridalplasty.
Bridalplasty.
Rhinoplasty?
I would like to see Liv on Top Chef.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to weigh in?
Best reality show.
I'd like to see Blaine on American Pickers.
I would like to see Blaine on Survivor. It would be one episode. It would be the last minute.
I would like to see Liv and Peyton on Naked and Afraid. Because I like survival challenge shows.
I would like to see Robert Buckley lose on Survivor.
I would like to see Dr. Robbie on American Idol.
Rapping.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, my question is for Rob and Veronica Mars. You introduced me and many other people to some great bands and great musicians. Do you have a lot of new bands and things you'd like to use this to introduce to us in the coming?
Yeah, but I keep getting older. I don't stop aging. This year, one of the writers on staff made a reference to EDM in a script, and I said, EDM, what is this? And after that, they started calling me Old Man Thomas. But I still take pride in that. I still love doing that. I love our main title song, Stop, I'm Already Dead. That one was one I was really excited about finding. The great thing, when I don't have a show on the air, no one sends me music. But when I've got a show on the air, I get sent music by everyone. On Veronica Mars, I did not have a music supervisor working hand in hand with me on the show, and I spent a lot of time doing that. And I probably picked almost all of the songs. On iZombie, I have a much younger, hipper person working hand in hand with me, but I'm still probably picking half of the songs in the show. But if you hear music in there that sounds like old man music, apparently that's my taste now.
Before we get to the next question, we should check in. Raul, do you believe in psychics?
No.
Ghosts?
No, I'm in Britain. We're like sinister, so like we don't believe in anything. We're pessimists and we're cynical. So no, nothing.
Fair enough. All right. Next question.
This is to Rob and Diana. How important is it? I mean, what is more important, being faithful to the original comic series, or having liberties so that you can surprise even those who are fans in the first place?
You know, I think either of those are admirable. I mean, I think you just try to do the best show that you can. The places where we deviated from the comic book, we had, you know, there was a certain logic to it for us. You know, in the comic book, the main character is a grave digger, and so she can dig up anyone. It could be an old lady who had emphysema, and that doesn't give us much of a case of the week by making Liv work in the morgue rather than at a graveyard. We had a murder case of the week. That felt better for a television series. In the comic book, they have a whole monster universe, were-terriers and ghosts and mummies. And one of the reasons we made the decisions we did was because True Blood was on the air. They had a whole monster universe. We felt like they've got that territory covered. We'll just keep it zombies. So those are the reasons we make those decisions. I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer to that. I think you could be totally faithful to material that you adapt if you feel like that's going to give you your best shot at having a quality show. We deviated where we did for some pretty specific reasons.
Because if you're doing 500 episodes of television, it's really, we didn't want to do like Touched by a Zombie, which would have been what it came to be if we didn't have the procedural element, we didn't have her working in the police morgue. And Chris actually, I mean, as we said before, the Chris who created the comic and Michael have been super supportive of it. And when we first read it, I felt like, oh God, you want to do everything that they have just because you want to be respectful. But they're both so thrilled that it makes it such a joy to do.
But also, I want to jump in as a comic book fan. Some of the, some of the best works have come from things that have been inspired by. Like Old Boy doesn't follow its comic book roots, but it's still one of the greatest films I've ever seen. Watchmen follows the graphic novel shot by shot, but not everyone was happy with it. I think as long as you're putting out good art, the best homage something can be given is to be inspired by and to have its DNA and its roots. And iZombie, the graphic novel, the comic book series, still has its DNA, its heart, and its colour. And I think that's the best kind of compliment we can pay to Chris and Mike.
Yeah. That was both better said and sounded better than the English accent.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, so she doesn't have, Rose's character does not have a love interest at this time. So will they be bringing in either another zombie that is not crazy? Or will she get with Raoul?
Well, that is a good question. We have an answer to that. Do you want to hear the answer?
No, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, there might be romance in the near future for Zombie Liv.
I'm curious, can you guys talk, just for a minute, can you talk about balancing the various aspects of the show, the soap opera, the procedural, the horror?
Yeah, that was, there are so many ingredients in this show. It is, I mean, we've made jokes about trying to, what do we call it?
Zomcom rom-dram.
Yes, it's your basic Zomcom rom-dram. There are
Please
a lot of
hashtag that and send that out.
Let's get that trick, Zomcom rom-dram.
It's hitting a show, hitting its stride out of the gate is so hard to do, and we were juggling a lot of different genres and ideas, and comedy and horror and drama and romance, blending all those together and hoping that it came out right. One thing that I want to say about this show and I think Diane would agree with me, is that this has been a dream season of television for us. Every first year show is a challenge because you are trying to get the studio and the network and the creators of the show and the cast of the show all on the same page, and that can be such a challenge, and sometimes it can be an ugly creative battle. And kind of from day one on this show, the studio and network and us, we've all seen the show in a similar way. It has been the smoothest, best ride. The cast members are all assholes. Other than that, it has been a pleasure.
Such assholes.
They're the loveliest people. It's just been, I've had more fun doing this season of television. If they could all be like this, it's the best job in the world.
Well, vice versa. I mean, it's very rare to feel, particularly in the first few episodes, like you have the confidence and the absolute support to bring creative ideas as well and have your own voice. And I think all of us have always felt like the phone will be answered on the other end, and we have these really sure-footed, strong creators behind us, and it's just felt so cohesive. It's honestly weird. Like, I wish there was some gossipy drama and we could all hate each other and have something to share with you, but we like each other. Everybody gets along. Just about everyone.
So fun.
Yes, sir.
And season 2 happens. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, sorry. This question goes out to Rose. So, in your personal thinking about how you would feel comfortable about your character, thinking about turning her ex-fiance into a zombie so that they could be together, you think that's what your character would want, or would just kind of like hold on for a while? Or?
I mean, I really think that Liv is an ethical person and a moral person, and she would never want to put somebody else in this compromising situation that she's in. Have you guys seen the movie It Follows? I just watched that, and I was just thinking about the idea of just passing on like some terrible situation that you would never wish upon, yourself or your loved ones. And so I think that it's out of love that Liv doesn't stay with Major, and that becomes a huge conflict for her, and trying to move forward and not being able to explain that to him.
Sounds to me like maybe she should like try harder. maybe if she really cared,
Oh,
put the
Mage,
effort,
Mage.
they could work it out. I don't know.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Nico. I love all of you guys. Such a fan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I know it's you, Stephen Amell. Show yourself!
I got one question. In season 2, when you're going to make season 2, for your Rose, what are you gonna, what friends, if you're gonna have the friends of Werewolf, and what, do you know what?
You mean friends in my own life that I want to get on the show?
I see.
Yeah, like the friends of you guys.
Oh, I try constantly. I'm like slipping CVs under the door of like various directors and a song written by like a friend of a friend of a friend. But I don't actually have a lot of power, unfortunately. I've noticed those emails go fairly unresponded to. But there's so many, yeah, I've got great friends, but I've always been surprised and impressed with these people that I haven't necessarily, you know, these guest casts that come on for one episode that I won't know and be like, how did I not know about this person? They're incredible. That's happened to me non-stop, so I'm just keep them coming.
Let me ask you guys, for any of the actors, you know, it becomes an interesting thing, you know, when you write a pilot and then cast it, and all of a sudden there are flesh and blood humans playing these characters. Have you guys been surprised by things that have happened to your characters, or by things that have not happened to your characters as the season progressed?
Ravi thought he'd be getting more action. You thought you'd be getting more action.
Oh yeah, it's dry
More
spell.
action than we told you you were gonna get.
Yeah, I guess that
I thought
happened.
you'd be fighting ladies off left, right, and centre.
I think with Ravi, I was surprised how like we avoided stereotypes, and that was a big surprise for me. Not because you guys are lazy, not at all. You're great writers, but like in the sense that you're playing a doctor who's a geek, who's a nerd, who's Indian. And then you think, okay, cool, and he's funny, so it's going to be this asexual nerd, you know, those sort of things. And really, he wasn't. I was surprised just how well-rounded he was as a character, and just there's a lot of strings to his bow, I guess.
A lot of that came from casting you. You can't.
Well, that's the other thing that happens, right? Is Rob and Diane, you guys had to be surprised by, once the show was cast, by what these guys bring to it.
Yeah, we didn't know that Robbie was going to be dreamy. You know, they call him, right? They call him at the studio, they call him Hot Doc. So it's like, you can't, if we made him dorky, wouldn't you just be like, please? He gets so much play. No one would believe it. Look at his Elvis hair. Come on.
We better move on. Yes, sir.
Yes, hello, I just have a question in regards to, well, it's two questions. The first one is, would you guys be interested in doing a crossover with other CW shows, and would you do it, in particular, The Flash or Arrow?
We were going to do Jane the Virgin, but now I feel like it's not going to happen. Thanks, dude.
Weirdly, we're going to do one with Rain.
Whose line is it anyway?
Wait, you didn't make that joke
Luke,
already,
it's
did you? You made the Jane the Virgin joke, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it, thank you. I'm trouble hearing. I didn't want to make the exact same joke.
We made the exact same joke. But so now that people know how seamless our creative process is, one brain.
Brain the Virgin?
Oh, come on now.
We have fun.
Yes, sir.
In Veronica Mars, the setting became almost like a semi-character within the show itself. How does the Seattle setting help inform your story writing as well as your acting?
It rains a lot.
I would say that it doesn't as much as Neptune did. I mean, with Neptune, we got to invent the whole town. It was all ours, it was fictional. People already know a whole bunch about Seattle. We don't get to invent that town. You know, we shoot in Vancouver in a big city. Seattle is the one that looks most like it and is as close. You know, I live in Austin, Texas, and since moving back there 6 years ago, I keep wanting to set a show in Texas so I don't have to commute all the time. But for whatever reason, Texas didn't feel like zombie weather. The comic book was in Oregon. We shoot in Canada and we split the difference and called it Seattle. I wish we got to invent it. There is a lot of, I mean, I feel like I could walk around Springfield like you know every building in that town, and there's some joy in that that I doubt we'll get to have as much fun with in Seattle.
Except Rob did name a bunch of characters after this Sonic.
Yes. Again, I'm the oldest person here, but if anyone else is a fan of the champion 1979 Seattle Supersonics, you will see most of them name-checked in iZombie.
Lenny Wilkins.
I'm curious to know, some of you have talked about the background you did on your characters, but for Malcolm and Raul, you guys have a lot of heavy lifting to do when it comes to law and medicine. How do you contend with that stuff, and did you do any background work?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we both did. I did ride-alongs. I've worked on. I played a detective in other projects before, so I used that to also help inform this character. But also, I think what was different is the fact that you get to watch Clive grow. You know, you get to watch this rookie detective become experienced per episode. And so that was the difference in terms of playing that naivete, being fun and still just working on that progression.
And didn't you do a ride along with a Mountie?
With what?
A Mountie in Canada?
What? No. I was supposed to. I was supposed to.
You wanted to sit on the back.
Oh no, you wanted me to sit on the back of the. Yeah, she wants me to sit on the horse, holding some dude. And she was like, "You should do it. You should do that. It would be so helpful." And I was gonna do it.
Roll, did you have to do a ride along in a morgue?
Well, I spent on the pilot a lot of time watching real autopsy videos, like step by step, watching them do it, and I spent a lot of time looking at case files, and I interviewed some pathologists back at home, and then when we got to Vancouver, me and Rose went to a real morgue, and we got to speak to them for a few hours, and they took the bodies out of the fridges, and me and Rose had a look and a prod. We didn't touch. Very
ethical.
But we did smell, and that was interesting. But yeah, it's because it's, I think for them as well, their job, it's so important to their character that it's one of the first clues when you're building a character. I mean, but that's where you go to, and it was important for both of us to know our roles as best as possible.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. I wanted to ask Rose if there's like a process you have to getting into character, because you play a lot of different personalities, so I was wondering if you, like, I don't know.
Well, every day the hair and makeup takes an hour and 45 minutes, and in that time I tend to kind of feel like I'm putting on Liv. It's more than I've ever had with any other character. It really does make me feel like I just step into the role, and so that's really helpful. And then for each different character, honestly, less is more. The more I like stress out and over-prepare and everything, and then I'm supposed to be playing this like really alert, energetic person, and I'm suddenly this neurotic wreck, and it's like, for me, being really comfortable with the people that I work with, it helps that these guys are all great friends of mine now, and that the crew are so wonderful. We have the most amazing crew that we work with in Vancouver, and I actually just find feeling confident and connected to the people around me the easiest way that I can prepare to just find some weird, funny spark and character in me each week.
Most random question, but what did you guys want to be when you grew up?
Ooh, I know my one. I wanted to be a police officer.
I'd love to hear from all of you.
A corrupt one. Not so nice now, is it? No.
I wanted to be a basketball player. But it's funny, I actually was very good at basketball my whole life. And then I stopped getting better at it in my sophomore year in high school. And I was on the bench for the first time in my life, so I quit. Because Daddy doesn't ride the bench. And I auditioned for the play. And I got the lead in the play. And that worked out. Everything's worked out. I'm glad.
Hasn't ridden the bench since.
Hasn't been on the bench since. That's great.
I wanted to be a marine biologist. I wanted to study and live with dolphins.
I thought you wanted to be a magician.
So what about close-up magic?
I also was a magician for several years. And you know what's weird is it's like it was almost working out too well for my dating life. So I reined in the magic, retired my hat.
Malcolm has worked 57 different day jobs.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
got
right?
57 9-to-5 jobs.
57 different 9-to-5 jobs. So I feel like
It was like a Facebook thing, a question, how many 9-to-5 jobs you have? Well, I started writing things down, like a backpacker,
hang on, backpacker. That's not a job.
Groceries, that groceries is a job. Yeah, it's a job. It's 9-to-5.
Traveling.
Yeah.
But when you were a kid, did you always want to act?
You know what? It's yeah. I think I was acting, not knowing I was acting. I wanted to grow up to be. I used to say I wanted to grow up to be a scientist, and I wanted to be a narrator. And I thought narration was because I was always the narrator at school for all of our performances and events, and I wanted to do that professionally. So I would say when I grow up, I want to be a narrator, and then that transitioned into it was like you're acting. What you're doing is acting. To me pursuing theater.
Rose, what about you?
I wanted to be a primary school teacher or an elementary school teacher. You guys call it elementary, but we call it primary. So that's all right.
Did you ever study it, or did you just become a Power
No,
Ranger?
I did a couple of. I was a Power Ranger instead. I did a couple of years at university. In the middle of, I had come out here and done some work, and then I sort of had this moment of, what am I doing with my life? And threw in the towel and went back to university. And I really loved primatology. Now I reckon that's what I would do. It was Jane Goodall's birthday yesterday. She's in her 80s, guys. She's a hero of mine. And yeah, I think that wasn't something that as a child I wanted to do, but as a childish 20-year-old I really wanted to do. And it's, yeah, I think anthropology, primatology, that kind of realm.
What about you guys, Diane and Rob? What did you want to do when you were a little kid?
As a child, I wanted to be Wonder Woman. And then later in life, I wanted to be Wonder Woman.
My dad was a high school counselor, and I wanted to do what my dad did, but I didn't understand it. I thought he was a high school canceller, and that he professionally canceled things. That would be a great power. That, it's off. No more.
Very good. Yes, ma'am.
Good gig.
Okay. This question is for David from Me and My Husband. Is your character planning a racketeering business, and was that the intent when you hit up Liv for brains?
Oh, he's got designs, lady. He's got big designs on becoming King Z of the City by the Sea. Seattle. That was great. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Did you want to be a poet when you grew up?
King Z. He is, yeah, you're gonna find out, you're gonna get inside his operation of his brains dealing operation as the story goes along, and next week, in fact. So, yeah. And you're gonna meet some of his zombie henchmen too. Cool. Yeah, he's great. He's creating this, trying to get this small business off the ground.
Really is just a small businessman, you're right.
Hello, my question is for the actors. Is there like any stories that you guys would like to happen?
Get out your pad, Diane.
Yeah, I'd like Liv to beat Blaine. That's what I'd like. Take him out.
Beat Blaine?
Just like get rid of him. That would be good. Guys, he's the bad guy. How dare you? I'm trying to protect you all from a zombie apocalypse, and you're booing me?
would like to see living
I'm dropping the mic.
Yeah, I'd like to see them have like a I don't know, a 3-page
That's the
fight
guy
scene.
you want? Sorry?
3-page fight scene.
That's how charming you are. People that are like, screw the zombie apocalypse. I want to see them make out.
I want Ravi and Clive to do a ride-along. I just do, like, a stakeout or something between the two of those characters. I think that'd be fun.
Yes, next question.
Hello, this is for anyone willing to answer the question. Prior to being on the show, were you guys fans of zombie-themed shows, movies, or any comics?
I was a huge fan of Resident Evil. I think I spoke about before on PlayStation 1. That was my introduction to it. And then also Shaun of the Dead would be my... I didn't make it, so I don't want to take the applause. I have nothing to do with that whatsoever other than just a fan. But that was my favourite zombie film.
Ditto.
Yeah.
And actually, Wright in the last name is actually Edgar Wright. I like to pretend that I married him.
Anyone else? Were you
I
fans of
loved 28 Days Later. That was one of my favorites.
Good answer. Correct.
Dreamy.
World War Z is...
I love Zombieland.
Me and Diane are big fans of The Walking Dead.
Yes. If you would like to talk about the season finale after, that's all I want to talk about. So see me, and we could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours.
What about 28 Days Later, gang? That's a strong movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
28 Days Later.
Ooh, I would like a iZombie Walking Dead crossover. Like we could get Daryl Dixon to...
I think those tones would just merge perfectly.
I want to go on the walk. I want to go on the Talking Dead so bad. That's all I want. I tell Ben all the time, like, please. That's all I want is to sit across from Chris Hardwick and talk about episodes.
No, the only reason I'm here is because Nerdist is in the title of my show. Are there any other questions? No, we have 5 minutes. Listen, here's what we're going to do, you guys. We've already talked about zombies. Wait, did I check in with everyone? Anders, do you believe in psychics?
Well, since Raul said no to all, I'm going to say yes to all.
To all? Across the board.
Across the board. Carte blanche. I'm a believer. I have faith.
Diane?
I'm a fluid. I believe in everything.
Everything?
Until you prove me wrong.
All right. Rob?
No.
All right, starting down at the end with Rob. Can you tell us what, besides iZombie, you are watching on television these days? What's getting you excited or inspired, or what you're talking to your friends about? Movies or television or books or comic books or whatever?
Okay, alright, let's think here. I've been lately watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That's terrific.
That theme song, right?
What's that?
That theme song. Oh my god.
So good.
Sorry, that's the voice that makes women throw their brows.
I cannot wait for Veep to come back. As far as what I've been reading, Saga.
Don't take them all. Don't leave some for the rest of us.
Okay, yeah, and then and that's about it.
Those are correct answers. Anders?
I just started watching the new Netflix show Bloodline, and I'm a big fan of it. I can't stop watching it. It's a slow burn, but there's just so many great performances in it. Just small performances. And who's not fired up about Game of Thrones? I'm not. I'm very much fired up about Game of Thrones.
That might be considered pandering at a con.
What's that?
Sorry.
I think that was pandering. I'm rewatching Orphan Black to prepare for Orphan Black because I can't wait. Sorry, Rob.
I'm playing.
With Rob, I'm watching it.
I'm playing Bloodborne, watching Star Wars Rebels, and I'm reading Scott Snyder's New 52, just catching up on those.
Well, it's so nice that you guys have all had the luxury of time to read and watch everything. I've been working on a hit TV show, so I've been learning lines, and I'm just starting watching The Wire and Breaking Bad, so I've got a little bit of catching up to do, but maybe in a few years' time I'll have a moment and I'll be able to check out some of these new things.
I literally just finished watching House of Cards. and I've been playing a lot of Guitar Hero.
I just discovered The Americans this last year, and I'm so hooked on that. I'm all caught up, and that's pretty awesome. And then I love Better Call Saul as well. And Stephen Colbert going off the air makes me want to end my own life.
These are all correct answers. Thank you guys. And before we go, so you guys have aired the first, what, 3-4 episodes? 3 episodes. Is there anything you can tell us that's exciting that's coming for the rest of the season? We've learned that Liv might have a new love interest. Anything else you can tell us?
Robert Buckley takes his shirt off a few times.
Well, wait. We also said, I mean, there's a hardcore romance coming because there's a little bromance happening between Ravi and Major. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but their celebrity crush name could be Roger. You know what I mean? It's no tomcat, but it'll work. It'll grow on you. Did I just kill the conversation?
Someone else.
Is it over?
Someone else, please say something.
Well, I mean, there is. I know that he's joking, except that that has been one of our favorite things in the show, and I don't feel like I'm spoiling much to say Major needs a roommate. Ravi is available, and just having scenes, the two of them playing together in scenes has been one of the delights of the show, so you'll get to see some of that.
All right, we look forward to it. Please give a round of applause to the creators and cast of iZombie. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, the cast and creators of iZombie.